right, a very good evening to each and every one of you, and welcome to our broadcast, Ringsiders. Good night to all of you, Ann Vincent and Vanilla Garnett and Marlon Thomas. Rena Marks here with us too. Lynn Fernandez, good to see you there, Lynn. Ingrid, Rena, Vanilla, Yvette, Grace, good to have all of you. You know, the women are the backbone of the struggle. Oh, no. The women are the backbone of the struggle. So don't let it come wrong, y'all funny. The trench crappos, the tadpoles, the cricketers. Don't let it come wrong, y'all funny. Please and thank you. Tis the season, folks. Tis the season, and everybody and everything running out. That's why we got to be so careful in this season that we're listening, you know. We're tuned in. We're fired up and we're ready to go. Let you understand sense from nonsense. At the Corner Shop show today at 2 o'clock. It was total confunction nonsense. Foolishness. Nonsense and foolishness. Foolishness and nonsense. All combined. How you folks are doing this evening? Happy to have all of you on the live tonight, guys. It's a privilege. Good to see so many of you tuning in already. We hope that all is well and all is good. Great to see you folks, Yvette and Sandra and Mario. Mario, how you doing, Mario Bella? Good to have you. That's New Amsterdam in the house, folks. And Jelly Abrams and Andrew Griffith. Good to have you, Maxine and Quanamingo is here as well. Folks, do us the biggest favor ever. Share the live. Y'all have gotten so accustomed to the program now. Y'all just get tuned in. Y'all locked in and that's it. But this political season, we call upon to do a little extra. Please and thank you. And you all know we are extra around these parts. So do us that big favor. Share the damn live. Smash that emoji button, folks. Yeah. Partner with us too. We don't run out of water around these parts. We don't run out of water around these parts. And I'm tremendously, bigly happy that you folks can be joining us tonight. Please and thank you. Pace and power. We do have a guest who's going to be dropping by tonight, folks. This is season. We do have a guest who is going to be dropping by. You know, and it's somebody I admire a lot. It's somebody I admire a lot. And I'll tell you some backstory. I'll give you some backstory tonight. You see people, you don't know where they come from. We didn't drop. We didn't drop from no coconut tree. We didn't drop from no coconut tree, irrespective of what Travis Chase would have you, I believe. You know how I hard ears and fun. And somehow I couldn't go in two hard ears. No. We go on, folks. This is we got a guest who is gonna be dropping by. But this is season, and you got a hold of focus. You got a hold of focus. We did say you can hear all kinds of stuff. You can hear some stuff about me. You can say, sure. You like sell you me business one time. I sell you me story one time. Nobody got nothing for me. No files for me lock up no place. Especially by the Corner Shop show. You gotta watch them. Folks, let's start here. You see, when God is for you, no man can be against you. And I believe when is it time? Is it time? You know, the theologians gonna go into preordination and all those fancy things. When is it time? Is it time? And this flight went down today, going from India, just taken off, to the UK. One survivor. You see, when I fly now, I want seat 11A. That's the miracle seat. They said the fellow was in seat 11A. A is not a window seat. I think A is a window seat. You know, miraculously, 200 odd persons on that flight. That man survived, you know. When God is for you, no man can be against you, Darren Wade. When God is for you, none. When God opened the door, no man can close it. And when God closed the door, no man can open it. Pace and power. This man walk away from this accident, you know. I saw some video. We're trying to get the footage just today. The man literally walk away from this accident. Yeah. God is for you. You know, people meant for bad. God turned to good. People meant for good. Yeah. God keep on it being good. Get even better. Good to go. When God is, I want y'all know that. I tell you, I don't give up. You joined her program this morning, Cecilia, McGarrell, Koana, Maxine. Is it Lockley? Don't give up now. God is for you. No man can be against you. The PP trying to avoid scrutiny. They're trying to avoid scrutiny. And you know, folks, for the opener tonight, we can come back to this. They are trying to slander and libel a lot of people in this process, you know. And let me warn y'all, unless people come and say, I gone over, y'all don't bother with PPP. Y'all don't bother with PPP. They can try with a lot of people to confuse you, to kerfuffle y'all, to total confunction, nonsense y'all. But y'all don't take them on. Because this story stink, wicked and dirty, and avoiding scrutiny. I saw a former finance minister, Vincent Jordan, challenge them to debate. They're running. Why are you running? You have to break. Y'all know everything more than anybody else. Why y'all running from scrutiny? Don't do it. Isn't this part of a rich democratic tradition? The people can stand together, you know, put their ideas together and they contest. You know, we have that contest of ideas. Why are they running? Why are they running from this invitation of former minister Vincent Jordan? But before we get there, folks, you open it tonight. As I said, they're calling a lot of people name. People aren't taking it. The tag of Manzi yesterday. Well, she ran out somersault 3 times in the chest. The opener, take a look, take a listen. Amanzo Walton Desire, the shadow minister for its foreign relations, foreign affairs, and international cooperation. Take a look and take a listen.
And that you are the president, and therefore when you're giving the people of Guyana information, give them correct information. In 2015, I was a public servant, and all and sundry know that you all terminated me from the CAA when you got into office. So please don't spread lies to the people of Guyana. I was a humble public servant serving the people of Guyana through the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority. So let's get that right. Don't involve me and call my name in rigging and rigging and rigging. And as we're talking about rigging, you know very well what the recount showed. Very, very well what the recount showed. So don't you come to try to gaslight the people of Guyana. So please, spare us this pseudo man of the cloth act. And really, if you're gonna come to speak to the people of Guyana, at least come with the truth and at least come with a coherent thought to tell them. I am sitting listening to you and I'm wondering if you live in an alternate universe. You could sit and say, I had to make a note because it was so ridiculous. You would talk about the rice yield and that the AP and UFC killed the rice industry, when the truth is that the highest yield ever recorded by the rice industry in Guyana happened under the coalition. Now what is happening is that for the first time in the history of the rice industry in Guyana, farmers have to dump paddy. Farmers have to dump paddy because there's no market for it, but you want to come to tell the people that under the AP and AFC, the rice industry suffered. Come on, man. And you know what is so galling about this? These are facts that are easily researched and proven. And you have the brass face to come and sit there and lie to the people of Guyana and deliver it in such a pious manner. Like if, look, Irfan, give me an easy time.
Give me an easy time. Please and thank you. Give me an easy time. If no come wrong with funny. Folks, I said I do have a guest dropping by and we want to insert him right now. He's going to be dropping by for a couple of minutes. And it's one of my favorite persons. And I'll tell you what. Let me bring him. Let me bring him and then I can tell you why he's one of my favorite persons. And who vex? You know, it's a spirit taking world. It's a spirit. It's a spirit taking world. No, not for y'all. Spirit take me. It is what it is. It's a spirit taking world. Folks, I'm privileged to have attorney at law Darren Wade, one of the most amazing persons that I have known, and I'm happy that he calls me friend and brother. That's the important thing. It's not what you call people, it's what they call back to you. Council, very good evening.
Good night to you, Sherrod, and to your viewers. I want to thank you, my brother, for having me here this evening on your
Well, I'm
show.
happy you could drop by on such short notice. Let me give our viewers a little backstory. That we met when you were young and brash and half as handsome on the University of Guyana campus.
Oh, yes,
So unlike folks like Irfan, I could say somebody could vouch for me. I said I've been to UG. I ain't lying. Darren, I think you were ahead of me reading communication at the communication center on UG's campus there. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you can remember it, but I remember an afternoon seeing you passing. You were passing talking to a couple of girls. You know, you were always thinking, so I was a little focused. You were passing, you had just finished communication, you had started law. And I remember getting your attention, and I asked you, I said, Darren, how is getting into the law program, folks? I asked Darren, he's going to join us back in a second. How do you get into the law program? And Darren told me, the higher your GPA, the better. You know, work on your GPA. I said, all right. I always wanted to do law since I was a high school student, but I kind of signed it off. And so I finished up like Darren, communication studies, and I mixed up. Make a beeline and read law after communication studies. So you see, unlike Irfan, I preach you now. Unlike Irfan I got one person, he can say went to Iflat University with him. Unlike Irfan, I got somebody who can say, yes, we've been to campus together. Please and thank you. Folks, again, the attorney at law, Darren Wade. Darren, welcome again, officially. I've been
thank you,
practicing.
Sherrod. That's correct, Sherrod. We definitely came a long way. More than probably 16, 17 years on campus.
Correct. It's a long time.
I remember,
And I never.
Melly Satwell, Melly Mel was there with us in campus.
Correct. But a lot of people don't know that. Let me tell you that too. Melissa Atwell was in our batch doing communication studies too. So Melissa didn't just drop from a coconut tree. Well, if she dropped with us. Kurt Campbell, as he's with Newsroom now, he came through the system too. And lots of the other folks we can identify. We had some good lecturers too. So we didn't just happen.
Yes, and
I'm very proud to say that Darren is my attorney too. 2 cases Darren represented me on. One of them has been dismissed thanks to his intellectual prowess and when you see Darren in the courtroom, he's a different Darren. You know, Darren has done plenty enough as is. When you see Darren in the courtroom, a different Darren, and I have no doubt that other case that we got before the system is going to go the same way as the last one. And Darren, thank you so much, because I want to let the audience know as well. Darren took on both of those cases pro bono. I had to spend a cent out my pocket. That's the kind of fella Darren Wade is. And that is why when I heard some things recently, I said I had to get his impression of them. I sadly don't get a chance to look at all of the other programs that are on, like Rick Ford and Mark and Dr. Hines. I don't always get a chance to catch with it because, you know, you're doing your own thing too and trying to do some work on the ground while you're on air and all of that. But I heard there is some contention between Darren, a great friend of mine, and Mark Benchcop. There is some contention, especially as it concerns the Adriana Young family. And I know, I don't know, I can't speak to the veracity of the allegations that Mark is making, but I have a fair sense of who Darren is. And I wanted to get from him, his impression of what he has heard over the last 24 or maybe 48 hours. Thanks, Darren. Help us.
Well, last night, persons are tagging me in a Mark Live, and apparently there was a unknown person. There was a anonymous, a person who did not identify themselves, claiming to be a relative of the Young family. I don't know this person. I've never talked to this person. I don't know if indeed this person is related in any way to Adriana Young or the family. I have no information in relation to that person. What I can say is that what she said was totally false. There were no truth to it. There are some mention or call for me to disclose communication between myself and the Young family. that is prescribed by law. It is prevented by law. I cannot disclose communication between me and the family. That is totally confidential. Whatever discussions between myself and the family. There's issue in relation to the report, the autopsy report, and so forth. The autopsy report, whether or not it's my father, your grandfather, grandmother, is a government document. I am not in possession of any government document. Just about a week after the first autopsy was done, I noticed in the press Dexter Todd is taking over the case. No formal communication between myself and the family. They didn't reach out to me and indicate whether to Mr. Wade that Dexter Todd is now taking over this matter, or you wish to work with him, or we don't like you to be in this matter any longer. They said there, I see Dexter Todd, and some other lawyers went to Ikin's office, the Commissioner of Police office, and so forth. And this is for me learning this from the press, these engagements. So there were no sense of formal handing over or transitioning between Mr. Todd and myself. That is factual. There was non-formal handing over. The issue. So I really and truly, I saw it as being constructively dismissed because this sees all form of communication. They stop communicating with you. So Dexter Todd is the man for the job and so forth. So so I see it as being constructively dismissed.
And Darren, even though you're saying it now, I've never heard you made mention of this as an issue. I mean, I think being the stand-up guy you are, you just took it in stride.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. My staff, matter of fact, the Saturday, before that the funeral should have been the Monday, my staff came in, and I begged them. My staff came in on Saturday, and we were preparing documents. As you will see, the letters went out the night before, threatening if they don't permit the doctor from Trinidad to do the second autopsy, we will file an emergency application to the court for this to be done. While filing the stuff, I pick up the phone. The family decided at that point that they will not be going further with that other autopsy. That's the second autopsy. And that was more or less the last sort of communication that I've had with the family. And despite Dexter took over the matter and so forth, I had no problem as I turn up to work every day and I go through my pieces. I continue to represent my client without fear and favor and do my work. I say it's all right, so forth. So there's it with that. This person last night mentioned the issue of the autopsy report. I as I've said, there is currently an attorney at law that represents the family. And who has reached out to the Commissioner of Police who were compliant with that report, and I have seen him spoke about it and complain about it of the Commissioner of Police or the government not giving that report. So obviously,
correct, because initially it was the Prime Minister who said, I think on regional television, if not international, that the police was in receipt of the report and the family could go to the police. And the very same day the family went to the police, and this again, police force through the commissioner, and they said they didn't have the report to release.
What I would probably encourage, because you see, I don't even know this woman who she really is to inquire from the family to the aunt or to the mother whether or not they are in receipt of Dr. Collins' report or observation. Dr. Collins' report and observation is not the autopsy, it's not the report. Remember, Dr. Collins is a private attorney at law that I, on behalf of the family, retained. I see an issue, and I think I can address this matter. The aunt, at some point in time on our Facebook page, had screenshot a conversation with myself and said, that they insisted for Dr. Leslie from Trinidad. That's the second doctor that should have came, or who came to Guyana but was unable to carry out the autopsy because he was not given the consent and permission by the state to carry out the second autopsy. At no point, a suggestion was raised with him. But for me being a competent attorney at law, I remember Dr. Desley from law school is one of my tutors actually. If you Google Dr. Desley name, you will see issues in Trinidad and Tobago that he have had in the past, which is fair. That's there in all of the newscasts. Dr. Collins, matter of fact, Mr. Hughes, who gave me guidance through this entire process, me, myself, Mr. Hughes, and several attorneys met from his office, met with the family, and so Mr. Hughes was very great, was very supportive. We met with the family. Dr. Alfredo Walker, Trinidadian forensic pathologist who works out of Canada, is the person who we initially engaged. And I'm very competent and thorough in my work. He sent his CV, and first examine it, of course. And I'm the type of person, whatever matter I'm doing, my client, I'm sure you're my client as well, so how I'm with you when you're late for court and how you is with the matters. I call you, I'm very thorough with everything. Correct. And in this matter, it was no different. With all of my clients, I have to speak in general terms. I must speak in general terms, because if what I don't want is to be direct, because being direct could get me in trouble, because I do not want to cross the road in relation to confidentiality. But as my style in dealing with my clients, once I am in possession with information and detail with all of my clients, I will send it to them and receive, and for them to respond in relation to that. But with this specific issue here now, I did communicate it with the family. Secondly, the aunt who have said she did had asked for, insisted for Dr. Desley, the suggestion was made. Mr. Walker, who is the first person who Mr. Hughes put me on to and introduced to as a competent person, was the first person that was referred. Dr. Alfredo Walker said that he can't make it to Guyana, but he will recommend someone. That is my style. And since he said, okay, right, let the person send the CV I'm trying to pull up the message. Let the person send the CV to us and let us examine it before we go ahead with retaining this person to come to Guyana. Dr. Collins come with an outstanding record. As soon as you Google him, you will see he is a examiner for one of the 50 states in the United States of America, unblemished record, and so forth. So if a competent person is examining Dr. Desley, not to say anything wrong with him, but to see you're doing the balancing act, I believe that the right person in such a circumstances would have been Dr. Collins. And so I went with that gut feelings. I went with based upon the record to retain Dr. Collins, who I believe we were very fortunate to have in Guyana. And I also and the only reason why I would go to this here, because Miss Lewis, at least on our Facebook, and I have asked her to examine our statement on Facebook in relation to the retainer of Dr. Collins. I drafted the letters record and attached a CV and say, look, what do you think, and so forth. And she said, yes, the family is there. We approve of this. The only addition is letting them know that all correspondence will be carbon copied to the family. So Dr. Collins from this here was approved by the family in correspondence from Miss Amika Lewis. She did send me this message, and she sent me this message on the 26th of April.
But Darren, for those persons who
I'm not the only reason I'm disclosing this, ordinarily confidentiality, I cannot, but there's a part of the clause that says where they have given as she has addressed it publicly and screenshot a conversation concerning this direct issue, she have waived that respectfully, that confidentiality.
And that's why I'm asking, for those persons who don't know all the nuances.
Yes.
person who don't know all the nuances, what is this sticking point? And then what are you seeing as a result of that?
Well, I don't follow. If you could, I don't follow the question.
What exactly is the issue that's in contention, and then how do you want to respond to that
Well,
specific?
you see, I don't really and truly, I don't know, because there was a second autopsy that was done. And I listened to Dr. Terry, that was her name. And I must admit, when Travis Chase first put it up, um, suspicious, I said, what's going on, if there was something, that the guys missed or overlooked, or, when they did something wrong. But when she spoke, she said what she was told, it is very suspicious. She didn't say when she opened the body she saw something suspicious. Matter of fact, when the question was asked, there was no marks of violence, nothing of the sort. She said, she explained that. She went on to say that, but you can forcefully, as I understand it, you don't need to have violence on someone to kill them, or violence on someone to have forceful drowning, because, and I know that is quite possible for someone to have. And because she said she would not conclude it is drowning because of what she was told. And you can basically, what she was saying is that you could make a situation look like drowning, and it is not drowning. So as an expert going in there, you could see, oh, these things are consistent with drowning. But then you also have to be mindful, because it is a diagnosis of exclusion. So you have to do the various the police, matter of fact, the investigation need to go and exclude 1, 2, 3. It is not this before we end up at this point of drowning. That is that's what I got. So they have 2 autopsies. Really and truly, if we want to say the most, that the first one was premature, because if what we're saying is she's right, and from what she's saying that it's one of exclusion, then you could say more or less it was premature, and that they should have waited. That's the most you can say from what she has said, that they should have waited for the police and the professionals to do their job before, and to exclude the other scenario before they come to the conclusion of drowning.
Yeah, and I think even Dr. Dexter took us through the paces with that too. He had outlined a series of steps that should have been followed before the body was moved from that area too.
And if let us not forget, Sherrod, Dr. Collins, when he was retained, is the first person who said before he reached the Guyana, he wants the X-ray, he would like to have it scanned. That have never been done in the history into this country. And as a nation, we must be happy for that, because we benefit from that. So now the police will know now that at some point, I trust that we will have a proper forensic lab in Guyana, because we don't have one. Because and what Dr. Collins also explained, that from when the body is found, from that time, the work should have started. The police should have started doing their work from that stage. That wasn't done. The forensic aspect of it. Dr. Collins came more or less as a observer, the family witness to this process. At the end of the day, the state pathologist is the official person in this matter.
I am not familiar with all of Dr. Collins said, but I'm going on just what Attorney at Law Dr. Dexter Todd said that should have happened at the crime scene. I remember him laboriously going over all of the procedures that should be followed, the handling of the body and all that. And it seemed to be a very rigorous process that was not followed.
And then also we had the issue of the fire at the place. There's the issue of looting. When I was there with Mr. Hughes, some of your executives and the other lawyers, we were able to get the mother to give a statement calling for the FBI, because we told them straight up at that point that this would be a difficult case to solve, because one of what is transpiring at the premises. When we were passing, there were excavators already on that scene. The crime scene was not cordoned off. Nothing was done in relation to that. And we said, listen, that this is a difficult situation, and we have to let you know. You have to be open and frank with your client from what we have seen at the scene. we also said, when I went to my Facebook page, that is guidance again from Mr. Hughes, that all pictures, all videos, everything that was taken must be done with, must be saved. So when the FBI or the Royal Mountain Branch or the Scotland Yard, should we get them, they come, we will be able to share that information with them. Dr. Todd take over the matter. I listened to Dr. Todd. I read his statement from Gordon Mosey. He has said absolutely nothing different from what I have said. He have the same, the 3 international investigating agencies that I have requested, that I have pressed for. He has pressed for the same thing. This same report, I don't know if they want somebody, they want to attack or destroy my character. Dr. Todd is the attorney for excess of a month, just like a couple of days after the second autopsy. He has written to the government for the autopsy as they formally handed it over to him. So I don't understand. Dexter Todd is the current lawyer. If I, Darren Wade, and he's the lead counsel, how is it now that me, I am the person, I am negligent, I conspired, I sell out, I am a Judas, I do all of these things when I am I was saying I'm not even in the case. I believe, based upon the way how I was treated, the family sees communicating with me, I believe that I was constructively dismissed. What the pressing point or thing should have been is the insistence of the police to do their job. The pathologist didn't come or to cover up anything, what have you, and the woman said it was competent and thoroughly done, which means the proper course and what have you done. And sure, I'm telling you, I witnessed this thing for 4 hours. As a father of a daughter, I have several nieces. My small sister that I have 3 daughters in Trinidad there, and I witnessed this thing. I had to stand up and witness this for hours. Witness how they were and everything. And even the police officer, very good, Commander McBeam, because Commander McBeam, the government had identified to the family to have a discussion, any discussion to me and McBeam, the 2 of us work together. And this, he said, we have never seen this type of thing done in Guyana before. Of course, he has overseas training and so forth, so those things he probably experienced overseas, but they've never experienced this in Guyana before. So that is something because of Dr. Collins coming to Guyana. We have, as a nation, has benefited significantly by his presence alone. Even before coming to Guyana, the request for the X-ray and the scanning and all these things. And you know what? When Dr. Terry think the body, she came back with the same thing: no damage, no broken bones, no what have you. I personally I'm not comfortable. I will always ask questions in relation to the appearance and disappearance of the body. I am not settled on that. I am not.
Yeah.
I believe that the truth need to be told. I still believe that they should have a thorough and proper investigation.
Which is what the coroner in Atlanta said, and I heard even international lawyer Selwyn Peters making the same point quite recently, that they should have a coroner's inquest into the death of Adriana Young.
I believe that too, the law provides for that. If the chancellor or the DPP, can't remember to mind who has that jurisdiction, or to order a coroner's inquest, or both of them. I believe the attorney, the current attorney, indeed should write to these officials, inviting them to have a coroner inquest into this matter. I personally, I have done my job, I believe, above board. Judges, senior counsel have said to me, Darren, you have done a good job, have commended me, you have done above board. Let me say this: I went to I attended with colleagues, lawyers and members of the bench and bar, went to a gathering, and I wasn't going to go to, but I turned up and everybody was there, the crowd was there. And as I entered the building, there were cheers, applaud, and everybody was clapping, and it was like, I said, please, it's not about me, because it was a colleague's birthday or someone's birthday. I said, no, it's about them. And afterwards I mentioned, I said, did you all plan this, that when I come here? They said, no, everyone here knew that you did a good job. So that commendation was important for you. because anyone, I believe, reasonable person was examining this situation. Coming from me, a person, Sherrod, from they start arresting Mingo, was there at nights, leaving my family, my wife, young daughter, being quit during COVID, going to all of the police stations at night, and then in those
I
days,
haven't forgotten that. I haven't forgotten that.
my good friend Caesar at the police there, Caesar would say, Darren, when sometimes I don't know if it was planned, but why is I driving? But that time it's be over the river. When I reach the Arbor Bridge, Caesar calling me, turn back, we got carried out an interview now. I believe that probably strategically, and they have the right to do that, to do it. The police probably say, you know what, we're going to walk you out. So once he free, go and sleep, the hours when I want to arrest is then when the police want to do their work. So they're going to, so in their book and their record, we call attorney at Lord Darren Wade at this time to come and so forth. So that's how they had Christopher Jones, also when the police was, I stood up to the police. I had a court hearing at Christopher Jones Bridge. Never before. The Asians national.
Darren, I don't think you need to fight in your own defense. But I think your record stands for itself, and I think people who are maybe quick to jump to conclusions might need to check that, because my experience has been vastly different. And you have been my attorney. I've never seen you cut corners. I've never seen you try to go a short way. And as I said, 2 cases you've done for me, and you've refused to accept any money. You've just seen it as part of the struggle. As this government coming against its political adversaries, and you don't like see advantage, and I think maybe that's why you jump on the other matter too. And you just stood in defense. And I'll say this before I ask you to give some concluding words. I want to touch on some other issues happening actually before we go.
No problem.
But I will say this. I remember night I had a show like this, and I had talked about some illegalities that come to my attention, that some allegations of illegalities that the former PS for Home Affairs was involved in. And I remember that evening, on my way home, you called me, and you said you thought I came right up to the margin of slander and libel. I remember that. You said you thought I didn't call you. You called me out of that concern, that genuine concern for people. And you said you thought I'd come right up to that line, but I'd see it clear of slander and libel. And the following day, I remember police came at my home to arrest me. And I thought it was based on that matter, but it was based on that GCOM issue, Darren. And I remember I called you immediately because you and I had a conversation the night before. And you said to me that you had COVID and couldn't come out. And that was the only reason why you didn't get on that case. And you had referred Nigel.
I called Nigel.
You called Nigel and asked Nigel if he take the case. And Nigel said yes. And the rest is history. But that speaks to the kind of person that you are. You never asked me if I had money, if I had a retainer, anything like that. You called me the night before out of concern. And then you went on to put me through to Nigel afterwards, and the rest is history. So I think all the work you have done for persons pro bono or otherwise speak to itself, and the public has seen you on countless cases. So I would just say to persons, keep an open mind, hear the other side, hear all sides of the matter, but this does not congeal with the person that I know, cutting corners and taking bribe and selling out, and I don't know that person. I don't know that person at all. That's what I would say for my part.
I appreciate it, and thank you very much, Sharon, for your kindness.
Yeah. Council, thank you so much for coming by on such short notice. I really wanted to pick your brain on this as I saw it in circulation.
I'm very grateful.
Thank you so much. Have a fantastic evening.
Thank you. And to your guests, thank you. Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, let's touch on a couple other issues quickly before I go. I can only speak for me. I mean, you guys might have your own interpretation too, but I don't know the kind of person that I've seen. And I know Mark is a fantastic and great guy too. But I think don't let us be a distraction, right? Don't let us be a distraction. We still want justice for Adriana Young, right? And we know the people who caused us to be in this position in the first place. And don't let us be a distraction. Let us hold a focus and continue to pursue justice for Adriana Young. We might argue and who and what and so on, but I think I know, I got a good sense who started the lying and the this and the that and the red and black ram and all of it. So they had the corner shop show just today. The corner shop show. And you know, some of the things that came out, and let me apologize for that technical glitch of Darren being on and off on. I've never seen that happen during one of our interviews. But it's that kind of night tonight. They had a corner shop show today, folks, and so many things were said there. You know, sometimes it boggles the mind how your mind works, and you wonder if there's anything at all rattling around up there. You know, you could condemn Mohammed for being sanctioned, and then you're blaming Mohammed that May, your girl May, who was in your central exec committee, that she was sanctioned to, like she didn't know, she wasn't a big girl and she didn't know what she was doing. Folks, if you have been with us for the last 5 years, you all know we have said countless times, May, you got to determine whether you want to be a public servant or you want to be a sweet girl, and so on. May knew what she was doing. She knew what she was involved in. Nobody. Look, we big and we got sense. We big and we got sense. But this is his mechanicians, and he no ship on the list and a whole. Take a listen. They asked him this afternoon, May your list for this election? May on the list?
May Thomas, we have not put out our list of candidates as yet, though people will be considering the names of the candidates. I'm not going to enter into that debate. Wait on our list. You can ask me that about 20 people, whether they're eligible, whether they're not
the sanctions,
eligible.
in light of the sanctions.
Whether they're eligible or not eligible. The way I see it, I don't know. I don't think she wants to be on the list, but the way I personally see it, no, she will not be on the list. That's how I see it, personally. On now, but the party, I am General Secretary of the party, but we have not debated these matters as yet.
I don't think being on the list is the problem, you know. The problem is if she'll be earning money, taxpayers' money, right, from the government, because you could be off the list, but May is working for the government. And remember, part of this sanction is doing business with business, not association. Not association, and the American ambassador pointed out the differences and all that. Doing business. So if she getting she contracts, she in the background, living a life like living an unsanctioned life. Living an unsanctioned life. That's what the real question is. Whether she on the list or not is to me is a moot point. It's better a sanctioned individual, she'll be receiving different treatment than people who are unsanctioned in this country. That's the problem. That's the crux of the matter. And as he said, oh, it's other people corrupt. May corrupt by herself. May is a corruption by herself. And then look, he goes on now to say, you know, the Mohammed's running the campaign, doing their own business, their own politicking and so on. Right? And they're feeling threatened. I mean, they keep saying, Jagdu keeps saying, we're frightened. And then in this press conference today, Jagdu got attacked. Oh, I hear Mohammed has called people and people don't know how to get a phone number. Why do concerns you? Why is that your business? Let people go to the police. If the people feel violated somehow, but it's a pack of lies, you know. They will come and say things that are so egregious. If people are so offended, isn't there the law that can take course? They got to come and complain to you. But you never direct them and say, y'all go by Hickens and make a complaint. You see? He said he here, the Mohammeds and the associates and the agents have been calling people for support and he like hear too much, like mouth lazy. Like hear too damn much.
You want to talk to them, that's your business. But the moment you don't want this, continue to call and make it known clearly, I don't want anything to do with you. Because they may leave a lot of people at risk. You have already seen scores of people, literally hundreds of people who lost their visas because of association with them. And there will be many more people who may face sanctions because of them. They don't care too much about you when they leave you in the lurch. And the same thing with their list. I don't know. Anyhow, we'll deal with that at another time.
He's such a pathological liar. Hundreds of people have had their visas revoked, but it's only he know about them. These people are so incensed that the Mohammeds caused them to lose a visa. Right? They go and complain to he, and he's carried by the room with the news. It's only he gets the information, you know. The people who feel violated because somebody give them, they give their phone numbers to the Mohammeds and their agents to call them. Right? Then hang up. Them must not make people to say, look, how you give me them? Who's y'all? I'm not interested in politics. I'm the public servant. Clicks. But the call he to complain. How to get he number? How to get he number? Yeah? It's when he called to influence them. And say leak this and leak that, leak GR information, leak this, leak mouth lazy. He know everything. Direct them to Hickens, direct them to a police station. If they've been violated some way, there's some infraction, they had their rights violated in some way, direct them to the authorities. But it's only he knows. He's the only authority. He know who number was given and who was called without consent. He know who, the hundreds, hundreds. But the public can't name 5 people. Hundreds of them. This is the nonsense that passes for press conference in this country from our vice president. And Jordan, former finance minister, Jordan said, you like talk like mouth lazy, come and debate me. Let's talk economics. Not mathematics. Right? Not jumbinomics. Not jackdionomics. Come let me talk economics. Debate y'all anytime, any place. Right? Y'all know Lola Doll got a song. Come downstairs. That's what she said. Something like that. I'm not being kept too up to date, but I know it's something with downstairs, upstairs. She got my house, she said, come downstairs. Big head, lick mouth, lazy, come downstairs. That's what Jordan's saying. Jack Neo, come downstairs. You like talk? Huh? But they're running. Finding all kind of excuse. Right? You know all thing, everything with economics. Everything. Never write a budget in your life. Never put together a budget in your life. He know everything though. From rope to soap.
And we will campaign on what we have to do. The debate is not about promises. It's about credibility. So it's a waste of time. I don't waste my time. I prefer to debate with the farmer or the fisherman or the miner.
He's such a bitch. Lick mouth lazy. I won't waste my time. He will waste his time, but he got enough time for people to call he. To tell you, oh, Mohammed's them call me. I won't waste my time, but he got enough time. Hundreds of people told me they lost the visa. He got lots of time in hand to waste. But nobody never gonna make a police report. He got a lot of time in his hand to waste. A lot of time. But the time coming. Long time gone, Jack Dio. Short time come. That's going to do it for us tonight. Long time gone. And short time come. I want to keep you all a minute longer than I should. PPP. They're running from scrutiny. Debate Jordan, man. This is not democracy. You all think you got these fantastic ideas. Put them against other ideas on the stage. Huh? But you all know Ephraim, it came out. Right? You can't go there and quote scriptures, on a debating stage with other people and talk about the Lord and forgiveness. You got to bring your A game. But you're not accustomed to that. You're not accustomed to that. So you come around, blah, 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 nonsense. Debate people, man. Shucks. There's not democracy. We want to elevate this thing. You know what you know now. Pack of nonsense. Folks, we're going to leave it there tonight. We're going to leave it there tonight. That's our time. That's our program. Thanks for joining us. Shamila and Sister Mercy and Diane and Jamal. All you other folks. Stacey and Stoll. We see you in the live tonight. Dolores and Darcy and Avett. They get you so upset, But I try not to sin, Church boy I am. Sister Patricia, good to see you there. Sister Michelle and Sister Dolly and so on. Good to see you. Brother Carline. Giselle Chipper. Good to see you on the live tonight. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button. Please and thank you. And let me go down the road. Let me go. You think the easy? Pack of nonsense. Shamila Lester. Have a fantastic rest of the evening, folks. That's the time. We're going to see you guys in the next one. That's our program. The campaign heating up. It's heating up, folks. Munich. Am I calling it right? Eva, KC. Right? Yes. Munich, Boston. Tommy, Cecilia. John Sullivan. Good to see you on the live, Don. And all the other folks. Mandy, Jacqueline. Great to see you. Shellon. And is it Anissa? Good to have you on the live. Anissa and McGarrel Seville, Andrew Griffith, good to see you as well. Shamila, I see Dolly and Deborah, Lester Williams, folks. I'll be calling names all night. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. That's our time, good folks. And that's our program. Stay